Hi everyone, welcome back to Yoga Magnificat with Nathia, and here I have a yoga burn back bend class. So we're going to work our way to dancer's pose today, which means that we are going to warm up the spine, get things limbered up. So feel free to get ready with a mat, block, and a strap, and we'll get started in a kneeling position. So feel free to sit back with your heels against your hips, roll your shoulders back, place the top of your hands, palms facing up, onto your lap, and just let yourself come into your first moment. Take a deep breath in through the nose and a deep breath out. Just allowing your breath to flow freely, extending, growing long and slow. Feel the mat beneath your knees, your shins, and the tops of your feet. And for that same observation, allow that strength to rise up through your body, lengthening up through your spine, and feeling a tiny pull at the crown of your head just to sit up a little bit taller without strain. Fill up deeply with that breath, establishing your practice early on to bring your thoughts and your body and your breath together in unity. I'll invite you now to open your eyes. Again, sitting up tall, we're going to interlace the hands, begin with some torso circles. That's going to loosen up your shoulders, your neck, your upper body. So we're going to start by swinging to the left, bringing the arms in front, and then circling over to the right and coming all the way back up again. And again, to the left, center, and over to the right. So you're going to start feeling the muscles underneath your arms, around the side waist, also involving the lower back spine. So feel carefully with the first few rotations what you're feeling and how it's affecting different parts of your body. Let's go the other direction. So we'll veer over to the right, go forward and to the left, and straighten back up. Feel the articulation in your spine as you move around in this spiral motion. One last time, let's go over to the left and come all the way back up, nice and tall, and then from here, release the arms. Good. Let's circle the arms up, look up at your thumbs. Exhale, bring the hands down. From here, we're going to do a kind of a swirling variation of a side bend, similar to what we just did. So let's take the knees out wide, kind of in saddle position with the big toes to touch behind. And then take the right hand down onto the floor, and then take the left hand, sweep it up and back, and push the hips off the ground. Let's add that swirling motion. So bring that left hand forward, sweep it over to the floor on the left. Bring the right hand up and back and lift those hips again. Let the upper body fall backwards with support. Exhale, sweep it over to the right. Inhale, lift up those hips. Exhale, come back to the left. Lifting the hips at the end of the movement, feeling how nice it is to move that front body, arching the back. Last time. Let's place those hips down. And this time we're going to bring the knees together and sit down on the right hand side of your hip. Bring your feet out to the side. And we're going to start with a little quad stretch. Place the right hand on the ground. Pick up your left leg by holding onto the front of your shin and bring it back, heel towards the bottom. Now you can squeeze that knee back in space a little bit just to aim into that top quad, top of your thigh. You want to make this a little bit harder. Begin to activate your core. Let's take the right hand off the ground, test the balance, and place it over your left shoulder. Now you're going to look away to the right while bringing your left knee back in space. So you're kind of floating here with your right knee on the floor, right leg, left leg is kind of off and hovering, and the front of your body is kind of hovering towards the right. Slowly release, and then from here, tip over to the left-hand side. Bring the legs over to the right. Same thing, hold on to the floor, but take a grip onto the top of your right ankle. You're gonna bring that heel towards your bottom and bring your knee back in space. You could stay here, or you can cinch up your core and remove your left hand from the floor onto your right shoulder. So again, you're kind of anchored with your left hip on the floor, your right leg is kind of hovering, and the rest of you is just sort of over the left thigh. Maybe look away. Take some deep breaths. And then slowly release. All right, so from here, I'm going to face the short edge of my mat now. Coming towards the center, bring the knees out, big toes to touch, and sink it back for child's pose. Crawl your hands forward, take a deep breath, let your head land. Fill up your entire back body, the belly. Let your hips sink back and let go of any tension or grip. Let's begin with a little more movement. Let's bring the hands back towards you, coming into a tabletop position. So let's make sure that the hands are beneath the shoulders and they're pushing down straight. There's no bowing out or bend in the elbow. Also, the knees are directly underneath the hips. Core is drawn up, not sagging down. Okay. So from here, we're going to tuck the back toes and come into floating tabletop. So that means just pushing into your points of contact, toes and hands, and lifting the knees slightly off the floor. Now, if this becomes too difficult for you, at any point, please do put those knees down, because we're going to take this up a notch. We're going to take the left leg and pump it up into a hovering donkey kick. Staying here, core is strong, kick it high, settle that left foot down, other side, kick the right heel up, breathing in, breathing out. I know, this is a little bit tough. So if you need to do this with your knees on the ground, please do so. Place both knees on the ground, swivel to the left, both knees. Straighten up, swivel knees over to the right, sink your hips back. Push off with both hands. Good. And then from here, come to tabletop, drop the knees, sink back into your child's pose. Take a break. Hopefully that should wake up a few things in your body by now. And then we're going to continue on in just a moment. Let your heart rate settle. And then slowly begin to walk your way back up. And we're going to come onto the belly. So just walk yourself on to the ground. I'm going to start with some back exercises, starting with sort of a Superman variation with the hands out in front, slightly wider than arm's distance apart. Now, untuck your back toes and let them lay flat. Press the tops of your toes down into the floor. Squeeze your thighs and your glutes, and then inhale, lift your hands and maybe a portion of your chest off the floor. A lot of us aren't going to get very high here. I want you to really press down into your toes, the tops of your toes, really squeeze your legs, and we focus on warming up your back. Few more breaths here. Slowly release. Place a cheek to the mat. Shake your heels from side to side. And we're going to go for locust pose. So locust is the same. Keep your feet about hip distance or a little bit narrower. Bring your hands back, fingertips towards your heels, palms down. Now from here, let's try to lift everything. So we'll lift the hands first. Peel the chest off the ground, shoulders slide back, and then peel the tops of your legs off the ground as much as you can. Look down with a relaxed neck. Try not to kink it by trying to look forward. Big breath in, big breath out. Keeping that strength through the back of your body. and then slowly lowering it down. Other cheek to the mat. Just rock your heels from side to side. We've got one more back strengthener here, which I find is really helpful if you have lumbar-oriented sciatic issues. So if you have some issues starting from your low back that shoot down into your legs, maybe sciatic issues or not, but that's usually a sign of some spinal weakness. So this would be pretty good for that. Let's take the hands underneath the shoulders, squeeze your elbows in, and then don't think about lifting your upper body too much with your hands. You want to make sure that it's your back doing the work and not your arms. So what we're going to do is peel up for a baby cobra first. Kind of notice what that feels like. Slide the shoulders back. Exhale, take a bow. This time, as we inhale, lift your left leg up as your shoulders peel off the ground. Holding it here for one inhale and exhale. And then slowly release. Next inhale, right leg lifts as shoulders lift. Exhale to release. Inhale, left side. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Release the arms. Other cheek to the mat. Give yourself a little wiggle. So hopefully by now your back feels a little bit more warm. We're going to go for a little preliminary back bend. So a couple ways we can do this is bow pose, full bow or half bow. So half bow is taking one leg into your left hand, left shin, right hand forward. You can lift or you can reach for both. So you can grab tops of your feet for both, flex your feet, and then from here, as you inhale, magnetize your knees together as though you're trying to keep some space, like you're holding a brick between the thighs. Now push your hands into your feet and your feet into your hands, and then begin to lift. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Draw your shoulder heads back and away. And then slowly release. Whew. Pretty tough pose, so feel free, if you were doing it half bow, please feel free to pause and take the right side. So it's always the same hand grabs the same foot as you do your half bow. And then you would lift everything up. Okay, so feel free to add that as your variation. Let's place the hands underneath the shoulders. Come into our first down dog. Pushing up. Downward facing dog. Wrap those shoulder heads into their sockets. Like you want to imagine you're holding a watermelon between your elbows. Press equally into your hands and your heels. Good. From here, stretch back into your heels, simultaneously pushing them down gently, and then bend your knees, walk up to your thumbs, and take a fold. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, halfway lift. This time, bend your knees, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, let's start our more active warm-up. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step it back, plank. Lower down. Maybe try a chaturanga or come to the floor. Inhale for your cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, take your right leg high. Swing it forward, plant it for a low lunge. Stay here. Right arm opens into your low lunge twist. Exhale, bring it back. Three-legged dog. Set that foot down. Left foot lifts. Left foot comes forward, low lunge. Stay here, low lunge twist left side. Exhale, set that left hand down. Kick it back into your three-legged dog. Feet together. This time, walk or hop to your hands. Take a forward bow. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale. And then inhale, come all the way up. Hands to heart. Let's do that again. Inhale to lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend those knees, walk or hop to your plank. Maybe try chaturanga on your knees or full chaturanga. Inhale for upward dog or cobra. Downward facing dog, flip those toes, push it back. Lift the right foot high. Send it forward. Lunge to low lunge twist. Right hand comes down, kick it back into your three-legged dog. Set that foot down. Inhale, left foot comes up. Exhale, plant that foot. Inhale, left hand sweeps open. Exhale, hand to the floor, sweep it back for your three-legged dog. Bend those knees. Walk or hop to your hands. Stay low, take a bow. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees. Come all the way up, mountain pose. Hands to heart. Take a moment here. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Let that energy surge up through the legs, up the spine, feeling it coming out through the crown of your head. Let's begin again. Bring the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for your halfway lift. Exhale, walk or hop to your plank. Maybe come for a chaturanga. Inhale for your cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time, press heels down, push into those palms. Lift those hips up, bring the belly to your thighs. Feel that equanimity, that evenness between the body, the breath, and the mind. Let's take the right foot high. Three-legged dog, stay here. Bend your heel towards your bottom and drop the heel down to your left side, opening up that right hip. Push into your hands generously. Make sure you're not dumping into your left arm. And then straighten up that hip, come back to your three-legged dog. Send the right knee towards your right elbow. Touch, hold. You're going to lower that knee towards the wrist. Lift, wrist to elbow, wrist to elbow, yes, wrist to elbow, and stay here, three-legged dog. Send the right foot forward, stay in low lunge, and spin your back foot flat. Coming into warrior one. Make sure you're facing forward. Your right knee is bent as you come up. Nice and strong. Inhaling and exhaling. Think about the position of your hips this time. Maybe think about pulling your right hip back and bringing your left hip slightly forward. There's always a tendency for the right hip to go forward, but you want to do the opposite. Draw the right hip back, left hip forward. Make sure that your shoulders are aligned. Once you're happy, bring those arms up. Warrior one, bring the hands behind your back. Clasp them. Inhale, press those shoulders back. Lean into that kickstand left foot. Exhale, bring the body in between the leg space. Right shoulder hugs into your right knee. Drop your gaze to your back foot. Try to bring your arms, your fists up as high as you can or forward. Humble warrior, we're going to hold it. Bring our right hip in. Try not to let it pop out. Really controlled, everything hugging towards the midline. And then slowly look forward. Push into those feet. Whew, come all the way up. This time open to warrior two, this time turning to the left. So the body, only the upper body changes, and maybe you change a little bit of the angle of your left hip. So it's up to you how comfortable you are in the range of motion around your hips and waist. So once you've found your warrior two, extend your arms long, take a little bend, maybe a little deeper through the right knee. Now we're going to take some lunges here. So we're going to straighten and exhale, come through. Inhale. I like to pull my right toe up just to make it a little bit harder for my hamstrings. Push and squeeze, lower, push and squeeze. Now stay here. Let's flip the palms. Now we're going to lean forward, but instead of coming to side angle, take your left hand as though you're going to clap your right hand and then bring it back up. Control using your side waist. Let's do that again for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Great, come back to your warrior stance. We're going to cycle down to our low lunge to plank. Kick it back for your vinyasa, plank or modified. Next up, maybe chaturanga on the knees or without. Inhale, slide up for your cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, come all the way back. Downward facing dog. We got to do that on the other side, so lucky us. Let's take that left foot up high, 3-legged dog. Now bend that heel towards your bottom, drop the heel towards the right side. Thus opening up your left hip. Again, push evenly into both hands. And then straighten up that hip again, 3-legged dog. Now we're going to come forward, left knee taps the elbow. Hold it there. Drop it towards your wrist. Wrist, elbow, wrist, elbow, wrist, elbow, wrist, elbow. Hold. Send it back up. All right, let's send it through. Low lunge to warrior 1 feet. Spin the back foot flat. So nice strong bend in the left knee. Inhale, come on up, staring forward. Now as you're readjusting your hips, again, think about your left hip drawing slightly back, right hip slightly forward in this warrior 1 variation. Again, pull your hands out in front of you. Make sure your shoulders are also in line, fingertips matching, and then send them back up. Exhale, hands behind you to clasp. Roll those shoulders back. Take a little back bend, but keep the bend in your front knee. Nice and strong. Push to the edge of your right foot. Be aware of all of these things. Slowly come forward. You're going to tuck that left knee to your left inner thigh. Once you have that connected, bring your hands up and over as much as you can, while tucking your left hip in and not letting it splay out. So strong as you can get here. Tap into your breath while we hold this pose. You've got this. Feel the floor beneath your feet gripping, the strength of your muscles holding you together. And then slowly look down, come back up, open it up to your right side, warrior 2. Readjust as necessary, sink back deep into your left knee. And then from here, begin to straighten the left leg. Come back down, straighten, come back down. 2 more, sink it down. Last 1, straighten, warrior 2. Now flip the palms to the sky. We're going to take the right hand up and over as though to clap that hand, and then come back up. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, come back up. Reach forward for 2. Come back up. Last 1, reach forward. Use those obliques. Come back to warrior. And then from here, cycle back down to your low lunge. Kick it back to your plank or modified. Maybe try that chaturanga. Maybe come up for your up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Whew. Walk out your feet. Pedal the heels down. And then press the heels towards the floor. Let's bend those knees, look forward, walk to the top of your mat, staying low. Take an inhale and an exhale. If you're feeling warmer in the back of your legs, hold on to your calves and just gently press your body like you feel your belly and the front of your torso compressed along your thighs. Only if that feels good. If it's too much, feel free to keep your hands in front. Inhale for your halfway lift. Fingertips can be on the floor, your shins or thighs. Legs are straight, back is flat. Bend the knees. Slowly press up using your quads, hands to your heart. We're going to add on some more balancing fun to this whole sequence. So if you don't have a block, no worries. But if you do, we are going to place it on the right hand top corner of your mat. I like to start with the tallest setting, but if you know half moon and know what you can do with it, you can do without it or change it to a different setting. Your choice. So let's come back to the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep the arms high. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, get long and steady. Exhale, walk or hop strong to your plank. Exhale, lower to the belly or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Settle in for a moment. And then we'll begin. Right foot comes up high for three-legged dog. Come into scorpion, bending the heel towards the bottom and dropping it to the left. Come back to three-legged dog. Now, right knee to right elbow. Down to the wrist, elbow, wrist, elbow, wrist. Hold it at the elbow. Come back to your three-legged dog. Plant the foot. Get ready, warrior one. From here, sweep high. Inhale, find your alignment. Exhale, hands behind clasping. Roll the shoulders back. Push into the knife edge of your left foot. Exhale, humble warrior, take a bow. Tuck that right shoulder into your inner knee if you can. Inhale, come up. Warrior two. You're going to straighten for 4, for 3, take it slow, don't rush, for 2, for 1. We're going to take the hands up to the sky. We're going to bring the upper body forward. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Last one, forward. Inhale up. This time, flip the palms down. Look down to your block. You're going to aim your right hand to the top. Left hand can be on your hip. Make sure you turn to the left. Now we're going to slide that left foot in. Plant the right hand on the block. I'm going to move back a little so you can see me. Now push your weight into your right foot when you're ready. And then begin to lift the back leg off the ground with the toes facing left, hip open. Try to open the hip so that it feels like it's stacking on top of the right hip. And then when you're ready, you can maybe bring your arms on top of each other and then focus on trying to lift the back leg up just a little bit more. Core needs to be strong for this one. In fact, the entire body feels like it needs to be strong for this one. If you're feeling a little bit frisky, you could try removing your hand from the block and putting it on your chest. That's really hard. I'm shaking here. Better put it back on the block. Slowly, with control, land that left foot and then begin to make your ascent to warrior two. Yippee! Isn't that fun? Spiral forward. Let's move the block over to the left and kick it back into your choice of plank, belly, or chaturanga. Inhale to come up. Exhale, downward facing dog. Other side, get ready. Inhale, three-legged dog. This time, scorpion, bend your heel, your knee, and drop it to the right. So really push into your hands here and into your right heel. Don't let everything buckle just because you have one leg in the air. Let's straighten that one up. Bring it forward. Left knee to left elbow. Drop it. And elbow. Wrist, elbow. Wrist, elbow. Last one. Bring it three-legged dog. Push it high. Plant that foot, warrior one, spin the back foot flat. Get ready, inhale, comes up. Square off those hips. And exhale, hands clasped. Inhale, draw it back. Don't let the back knee buckle here. Be strong on the outer edge of your right foot. Exhale, humble warrior, draw it down. Take a bow. Tuck that shoulder into the knee. You're going to hug those points together. Inhale as you come up, release the arms, swing them open, warrior two. This time, straighten the front leg, come down. Inhale, straighten, exhale, down. Inhale, straighten, and lunge. Last one, stay in warrior two, flip the palms. This time, right hand tips forward. Inhale, come up. For 3, for 2, last one. We're going to get ready for our friend half moon. So let's take right hand onto the hip. Left hand's going to reach for that block. You're going to sneak your right foot in. I'm going to back up a little again. So once you're ready, turn your body to the right as much as you can, and then begin to pop up onto your left foot, elevating the right leg, stacking the shoulders as you spiral chest to the right, and then maybe try to get the hand on top of the left and really try to find some stability here. If you feel ready that you could maybe lift that left hand off the ground, you can start by hovering it off the block, maybe putting the hand onto your heart, or just keeping it on the block. Good, now slowly bend that left knee, settle down to your warrior two, spiral back down, plank or modified chaturanga or belly, then cobra or up dog. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. From here, bend your knees, look forward. We're going to step left foot to the outside of your left hand, right foot to the outside of your right hand. Lower your hips, come into Malasana. It looks kind of like a little froggy. And then bring your elbows to the inside of your knees, push them away, and bring your hands to center. So if you're not sure what this looks like, I'll turn around and show you. It's a deep squat. Sit up real tall. Try not to slouch. Now, if you find this is hard to stay in, you can be a little bit higher. You can use a block. You can be up here if you like. You can actually sit on the block if you need to. Ta-da! So find something that helps you kind of graduate into that position so you don't have to squash yourself into this one right away if you're not ready for it. All right, so now that we're in Malasana, take a moment just to stretch those inner thighs. Hands come to the floor, lift your hips up, straighten the legs, slowly walk them in, and come up for your mountain pose. Inhale, hands to heart. At this point, we're going to get ready for our standing balance called dancer's pose. So for dancer's pose, I think I'll show you from the side. It's going to make more sense to you. So start by finding a place to stare at with any balances is crucial. Try not to look around the room and find some strength in your right leg. That's your standing leg. Now pick up your left knee and grab the front of your shin with your hand. Now some people like to turn their hands a different direction. They like to grab the inside of that foot, but it's up to you. I like to grab the outside of my foot. Okay, so we start by lifting the right hand up. Draw your heel close to your bottom and make sure to take your left shoulder back in space. Now we're going to tip forward. Keep the upper body slightly curved upwards. And then press your heel towards your hand pressing into your foot. Like bow pose, you're pushing away and lifting the back leg. Take a few moments to explore this pose. Don't worry if you shake or wobble. If you need to stand by a wall, that's totally fine too. I'm going to come out of it. So if you need to at any point, return and try again. I'm losing my balance today. And come into it slowly. And then you can come back out real slow by dropping that foot and releasing. Whew. My right leg is on fire, so what I did earlier today. So you can see how this works on the other side. So let's start with the balance on the left leg. We're going to grab the right shin or the outside of the right foot. Find a focal point. Left hand comes to the sky. Now draw your right shoulder back. Begin to slide forward, angling forward, but keep the chest angling up. Now push your foot into your hand and your hand into your foot as you begin to lift and arc just a little bit more. Find a little bit of engagement between the inner thighs. Try not to let the hips splay out and apart. Taking a deep breath in, deep breath out, and then slowly release. Ooh. Legs are on fire. Take a moment, walk it out. Let's come back all the way up. Exhale, forward bend. This time, grab opposite elbows, come to a waterfall. Bend your knees, let your upper body fall forward to the center of your feet. Inhale, release, halfway lift. Bend those knees, walk down one knee at a time, and come have a seat. All right, let's start with some stretches. We're going to come to a wide angle straddle position, the feet wide. Try to keep your toes flexed and your sit bones fairly centered down. You're not leaning back and curling your spine back. You might want your block, if that helps, to be in front of you. Inhale to lift your upper body long. Exhale, hinge forward, keeping your legs fairly straight, and then setting your hands down wherever they'll go. For some of us, a block is really helpful. You can also put it down into a different setting, or you can even use it to prop up your elbows if you're kind of low, but you're still not low enough to quite touch the floor. Take a deep breath in and lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale. Feel a little bit more softness, or spend as much time as you need just to gently ease into the pose. Make it your own. Try not to force yourself into a position that's too much for your body. Think about what position helps you to stay in it without needing to back out of it constantly. There might be a position where you feel a little bit of that need to back out, but it's not too oppressing as a thought. I know this sounds kind of abstract, but it's kind of where to find your edge, right? Where to find that sweet spot that lets you stay there and enjoy the stretch without feeling too much pain and needing to back out. Let's walk the hands onto the floor, again, pulling the spine long. Let's walk the hands and or block, if you need the block, to the right side. Some of you may want to grab onto your feet, your ankles, or a block, and then lengthen, turning the chest and the belly button towards the right thigh, and then slowly lowering down. Feel free to round here, drop the head. And then slowly come back through center. Maybe take your block with you if you like. Over to the left if you need it. Inhale, reach long through the crown of your head. And again, spiraling belly towards the thigh. See if you can lower a little bit at a time. Again, for every inhale, try to lengthen. And when there's no more room, feel free to round forward. Slowly come back up, bring yourself back through center. This time, bring the knees in. We're going to tuck the right heel underneath the left bottom, and then swing your other leg over that bottom leg. Try to get your sit bones to sit evenly on the floor. And then as you lift up the spine, take your right hand up, and you're going to wrap it around that left leg. You're going to draw it in close. Turn slightly to the left, but keep hugging that leg in. You can even kind of clasp the arms and squeeze that knee towards your chest or belly. And what this does is enables both a bit of a rotation in your spine, but also a nice stretch for this big glute muscles that have been doing a lot of work and usually are the most hardest workers in the body for most of us, even if we don't use them a whole lot. Slowly release, uncross the legs. This time take your left heel underneath the right leg, and you're going to swing the right leg over the bottom and try to sit your hips down. Take your left hand up, and then finally wrap it around the top knee, hug it into your body while turning gently, belly button towards the right hip, chest same way. Maybe wrap your arms both around that right leg, squeezing and feeling that nice stretch around that glute. Take another big breath in. Big breath out. Good, slowly release. Let's make our way down onto the floor for some final stretches. From here, let's come on down and start with a big toe hold on the back reclined. So right foot comes up, walk your hands behind your hamstring and kick up through your heel to straighten that leg. Next up, maybe straighten that bottom leg, creating an L shape. And then if you'd like to go a little deeper, walk your hands up towards your calves. Maybe take your right index finger and wrap it around your big toe. Push into your heel, also the left heel. Take a few moments. Nice big hamstring stretch. Little bend in the knees, perfectly fine as well. Don't feel like you need to be perfectly straight. Let's bend that knee. Hold on to that knee with the left hand. So you're going to cross over. And you're going to bring it over your body and just come onto your left hip a little bit. And then reach back with your right hand and settle both shoulders on the floor. Now, if you feel like you can't quite get over, you're just going to hold on with your left hand on top of that knee. Maybe turn and look over to your right hand for the supine twist. Slowly unwind. This time, drop the right foot and bring the left thigh, back of the thigh into your hands. Kick up through your heel and then think about straightening your right leg. Again, push into both heels now. And if you'd like to deepen this pose, you're going to walk your hands up behind your calf or take your left index finger and wrap it around your big toe. And then push into that heel and get that lovely hamstring stretch. You can slowly release, bend the knee, and wrap your right hand around that knee as you draw it over to the right, and allow yourself to turn a little bit onto the right side of your hip. Extend your left arm out and allow both shoulders to rest on the floor, and then maybe turn to the left with your gaze. Coming into a nice crossbody supine twist. Breathe deep through your left side. Exhale, release the shoulders and the head down. There should be no tension or grip in the body whatsoever at this stage. Slowly begin to release, rolling back onto your spine, and then finally drawing both knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze. And then make your way into your Shavasana. So feet can be on the floor or they can be extended long. Allow your toes to splay out and maybe the palms facing up. Feel the back of your head connect with the mat, your shoulders, the back of your arms, the length of your spine. Feel the earth below you. Let your muscles soften, your bones sink heavily. Think about the tops of your thighs. Your knees, no longer required, are peaceful, melting down. Any restlessness remaining in your legs, just imagine them draining out, down to your toes, seeping into the earth. Now just notice how it feels to be this quiet and unburdened. As always, feel free to pause the video for a longer Shavasana. If not, and you're wishing to say your goodbyes with me here, I bid you good day. Much light and happiness to you. Namaste.